All right, so I'm going to walk you through really quickly how to send a broadcast email through ConvertKit. So what you do first, obviously, is log into ConvertKit using your username and password. Pretty straightforward, right? And then what you're going to want to do next is head over to the broadcast tab and then say that you want to do a new broadcast. And this is really the trickiest part. If you've got specific subscribers that you don't want to be receiving the broadcast email that you're going to be sending, this is where you make those adjustments. So you have many different filtering options that you can use to decide who's going to get your email and who's not. So as it stands right now, I've got in this account, all subscribers are going to be receiving the email, and my massive list of 34 right now is set to receive this entire broadcast. But say, for example, I wanted to exclude some of these people from receiving this list. So I can go to, right now you can see it says matching all of the following, all subscribers. So I can click on this and make adjustments to it. So instead of all subscribers receiving it, maybe I want to send these all to people that are on a specific tag. So I have a workshop tab in here. So maybe I want to send a notification to all of my workshop participants. So I'll change the filter to subscribe to tag, and then I can grab my workshop registrants and I can click update filter, and then it tells me how many people were registered for that workshop. So that's going to be sending to these subscribers. Or say I'm going to be sending out an email trying to get people for last minute sign ups for this registration, for this workshop. So I've gotten 4 people in already. I don't need to send anything to these 4 people because they're already signed up, but I want to catch just a couple more people, so I'm going to email my entire list. But again, I want to exclude those that have already signed up. So what I would do is keep this filter the way that it is, but instead of saying matching all of the following, I'll change it to none of the following. And you can see it made the adjustment there. So it took out 4 of my subscribers that were already signed up to that workshop. That comes in handy for doing sales, for example. If you are trying to get people in that have never purchased a course before, or those that maybe they've purchased a course but that you want them to get another course, you can segment your list out and target those people specifically. But if you're just going to send out a newsletter to your entire list for everybody and you don't need to exclude anybody, then don't worry about any of these filters. Just click on the X and you would leave all of the following and all subscribers, add your filter, and that'll give you your total list of subscribers. So you can play with that and see what's going to work best for you for sending out an email to your individual subscribers. So like I said, if you're going to be sending out to your entire newsletter list, you'd want to send out to all subscribers, or if you have a segment of people that are only supposed to be receiving the newsletter, that sort of thing. It all just kind of depends on your individual setup for your subscribers. Once you've got that set, then we'll go over to next step. And this is where you actually build out your email. Now, you can type your email directly into the ConvertKit interface here, but I highly suggest not doing that. Reason being is this is a website. And unless you have saved your content, if the page refreshes, you can lose your content. If you lose internet connection, you could potentially lose your content. There's many different things that can happen to cause you to lose the content that you've typed out. So I highly recommend using a different service like Evernote or Google Docs or something like that, where you write your content and then just paste it into ConvertKit. So I'll just put in a test subject here to show you basically some content. Now for personalizing the email to say, hi, for person's first name, whatever, however you want to start the intro of your email, you would go to this personalized section here. And there's a few different options you can use. So any of the fields that you've got are going to show up here. So if you gather subscribers' first name and last name, phone number, email address, all the different fields that you can potentially be gathering would appear in this list. But the ones that you're probably going to use the most for just saying, hey, first name, are right here. So the big difference that you want to think about is if you're wanting to actually greet somebody by first name, you have to pay attention to whether or not you actually have their first name gathered. A lot of times people will have forms on their websites that will have a field for first name and email address, but sometimes it's just email address. And so if you start an email with hi subscriber, let me not do that one. So we'll say hi subscriber name and then comma, that's great. It'll say, hi, you know, my name's Becky. So it'll replace all of this gobbledygook here and say, hi, Becky, comma, and then go into the text of the email. However, if my name's Becky, but ConvertKit doesn't know that my name is Becky, then what it'll do is, instead of having this info here, it'll do a space like that. So it'll say, hi, space, comma, which looks really funny. So instead of doing that option, you have the ability to do subscriber's name with fallback. And this is a bunch of gobbledygook code, but I'll walk you through what it means. So you go to personalize and you select subscriber's name with fallback. And basically what this does is it tells ConvertKit if this subscriber has this field, which is the first name, then use this greeting right here. Hello, subscriber name, comma. If it doesn't, then just say hello, comma. So it doesn't have that blank in there. And you can change this text to say hi or dear or whatever you'd want it to say. A lot of times somebody will say, dear subscriber first name, because they have that, and you can personalize those emails a little more. But if you don't have that person's first name, you can just say hello or hello friend or something like that, so that you're still giving a greeting, but it's not going to have that weird awkward comma, or sometimes people will say, you know, hello exclamation point, and it's really strange to have hello space exclamation point in an email. It looks like something wasn't set up properly, and essentially it wasn't. So that's how you can use this. And this is a really cool feature. ConvertKit's not the only email service provider that has this ability, but it's really nice to be able to set it up this way. And then once you've got the intro set, then you can go through and just put in the text of your email and then sign off however you want to. You can add images. We're not going to sign off. We're going to sign off. So images are really easy to add. We'll just go in and pretend like we're going to add an image here. So let me grab a random image here. We'll do this one. This is one of my images. So this is a big image, so I want to size it down a little bit. So it's a little too large. So what I can do is I can click on it and drag it down. Now this is actually a link to, or it would in theory be a link to a blog post. And so there's a few different formatting things I can do with it. Notice it's on the left side of, it's left aligned right now, and I would much rather it be centered. So if you hover over the image, you can click on the little black edit box that comes up, and it lets you do several different things. You can add a link to it, and you can tell ConvertKit if somebody clicks on that link to open it in a new tab. I recommend doing that just kind of as best practice to make sure that people aren't losing your email whenever they click the link, because sometimes those links will open over the email as opposed to in a new tab, and so people can't get back to their email very easily. So I always open link in a new tab, and then for position you can change it to left, center, or right, and I'm going to center it, and I don't have a link to add to it right now, but I could copy and paste the link and put it in there if I'd like. So I'll just go ahead and click save. Another thing that you can do is, say for this text of email, say I wanted to insert a file. You can actually have ConvertKit host a file for you, so that when you click on the little attachment, you can choose a file, and I'm just going to grab one of my images really quickly. And it'll actually look like a link, but if I go to preview right here, this gives you a preview of what the email is actually going to look like when somebody receives it. I can click here, and it's going to open that link attachment in another tab for me, so I can actually see that. It's really nice. I always recommend previewing your email. So let me get back to, and again, this is what the email is going to look like with the template that I've got set up. So go back over to ConvertKit really quick. You can also go through and change the formatting if you've got on your specific template that you have set up with the ConvertKit. If you have different heading options, you can use those here. But you can also use ConvertKit's base options too. So I can change this to header 1, and it's going to make, it may not, because that's a, let me change this here. This will get big. So you can make different adjustments there, and we can preview it in the browser and see that it gets larger there. You can also change, you can highlight text and change the color of it using the little A right here. You can select different colors, or you can paste in your brand specific hex code here. And then you can also adjust the size. If for some reason you need to look at the HTML of your email, you can do so right here. click on the two brackets and you can see the actual HTML. This does come in handy sometimes if you're pasting in an email and the formatting looks really strange. You can click on here, and if you see a whole bunch of garbly goop code back here, then you probably will want to actually paste in your text again. And the reason for that is sometimes when we're pasting in, I've noticed this from Google Docs especially, or from Word, if you paste in email, text into an email, it can make all kinds of weird formatting things happen on the back end and the code. And sometimes that can cause the emails to look funny on the front side of things when people actually receive it. And the way you get around that is actually pasting your text into a text editor. Like on Word, I think you can use Notepad. I use Text Edit on my Mac to be able to go through and make those adjustments there. So basically you just paste into there, copy and paste from your text editor directly into ConvertKit, and it usually takes all of that weird garbly goop code out of there. So my email's done. I'm going to click save just in case, and so that's ready to go. And then the next thing I'm going to do is click on next step, because it's time for me to decide when this email is going to get sent. So right here is where you decide if you're going to send your email immediately or if you're going to schedule it. Now say I wanted to schedule this email for tomorrow at 2 in the morning. I really don't want to send it at 2 in the morning, but I can. I went through that really quickly. Let me go back. So you can grab in 5-minute increments too, which is actually really nice. So I'll just say 2 in the morning. And if I wanted to actually schedule this email, I would click schedule broadcast. Since I'm not going to send this random email out to my list, I'm not going to actually schedule my broadcast. But you would click schedule broadcast, and then it would be all set. Or you can unschedule it and send it immediately, and then ConvertKit will let you know, hey, it's sent in the queue. It'll be sending out shortly. So that's a quick overview of how to send an email out in ConvertKit. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know, and thanks so much for watching.